Hi guys, so we are at the Pick Your Part in Sun Valley today. Hopefully we find a motor, and if we don't, then we will probably find something else. Here's Travis, he is here with me, obviously.
So yeah, this yard is way different than Santa Paula. It's much bigger, it's much newer. It's got the non-primo and then primo over there. First we're in the non-primo. I always walk this yard first and then go over to that one. And I haven't filmed here in quite a while, so I might try to recover a lot of stuff from old videos. But yeah, I guess we'll see what we find. Okay, so right off the bat, we've got two LS things here. Technically, this yard usually puts all the LS stuff on the primo side, which is $2 more and also more expensive to buy. What's cool about this is, so here's an 02, that's normal, but this is an 05, yeah, 05, with a couple of cool things. So it's got electric fans. All the GMT 800s got electric fans starting in 05. So obviously electric fans, got the controller here. I already have two sets of these, so I don't need to pull another one. And then this I can tell from the, if you get way in there, you can see the stainless fuel rail. This is an E85 truck, so it's got the single fuel inlet, and then the injectors are, I think, are like a 32 or something, but it's the later EV6 plug. So I always still prefer the EV1, which only came on cars. But and then also, because this is an 05, it for sure has the, you know, Gen 4 rotted 5.3. So if you're looking for just a 5.3, definitely pull one from this side because it's cheaper. I think it's almost like 700 bucks over there. And then yeah, so if I can find the other stuff I'm looking for, I'll definitely pull it here too. I want to find a, for sure we will leave here with at least a 4L60E bell housing for the run stand. I might pull a stock exhaust because I've got some exhaust stuff I want to do. But yeah, let's see what else we can find. So something else I've noticed on a couple of these cars, they have this like insurance sticker, and it's cool because they say the mileage. So this is 340,000. So that's not on all of them. I've seen a couple of them here, so I want to see the highest mileage that I can find. Okay, and so literally right behind this we have a 02 Denali. So yeah, it's not common to find 6.0s in this part of the yard, let alone this quickly. I technically wanted to walk around and actually talk about stuff more before I started pulling, but I guess we might as well pull this now. It's kind of weird. It's got electronic throttle, which I thought 02 everything was the red-blue PCM, which means cable throttle. But yeah, I guess I can see which color that is. It's got no body damage that I can see, which is kind of a bummer. Although these things usually have a bad 3/4 applicator piston. No, sorry, 3/4 applicator piston, which then makes the 3/4 clutches wear out. Literally, there's a 4L60 sitting right here. I can show that in a bit. But let's see, no body damage. It's pretty rough inside. Let's look at the RPOs. All right, so if you get way down in here, you can see VIN U is the 8th VIN, and then LQ4 right there. So yeah, like I said, I guess we're pulling a 6-liter already. All right, so all of the Denalis are all-wheel drive. It's a little bit less fun to pull, but it's not nearly as bad as like the Trailblazers. But I technically should really be getting practice doing this, since actually my wife here, she actually has an 02 Denali. How long have you technically owned it?
Oh gosh.
Like 05?
Yeah, since 05.
Yeah, so yeah. When we knew each other in 2012, it was broken. How many still over 100,000 miles?
Yeah, there were, yeah.
Yeah, and it had a no third or fourth gear like they always do. And they put a trans in it, spent a bunch of money, and then now 10 years later, it has been sitting for a year for the exact same reason. So it's on its second trans. So I guess, yeah, spoiler alert, that thing's gonna show up at the house soon, and I wanna pull the motor out, do a whole bunch of stuff like that. So yeah, I get my practice in of pulling a 6-liter and 4L65 all-wheel drive. Except this time it's in the yard and not in the garage. So when we do it in the garage, it'll be a lot easier and faster.
So I'm gonna climb up in this thing. It's a little dirtier than mine, I have to admit.
Yeah, yours has what, at least I guess we haven't seen it. At least, was it 265,000 miles right now?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But she's very clean and has a wood trim as opposed to...
This is wood. I think it's wood.
Oh, wow. Oh, you know, it is the same.
Except your black interior, or what color interior?
This is the same color interior.
Oh,
yeah, it has the gray interior.
Your exterior is black.
So, kind of giving this away, I guess it shouldn't be a secret anymore. We're turning my Denali into...
Drag truck.
A drag truck, yeah.
Yeah, so I really want to race Uncle Rob. So this is obviously Denali's are factory 6.0s, but I want to do a, 480 MP261 like everybody does, and this is the place to find one. And then I want to do 430 or 456 gears in both ends, which is kind of expensive but worth it. And then see what I can do like converter wise, and see if I can get like a 12 NA, which I think is possible, especially, depending on how much these things actually weigh. If they're under 5,000 pounds, if they're like 6,000, but maybe we'll gut ours, like maybe to make it light. We'll think about it.
I really don't want, okay, so I like my creature comforts. I don't like gutting vehicles. He loves gutting everything. I
like actually going fast.
So
what's going to be interesting about pulling this versus pulling the one out of the, in the garage is that, it's a lot harder in the yard, but basically how you remove these is just find a bolt, remove it, pull the core support, pull everything, and then you just get more and more room. And this obviously will never go back together, so it just has to come apart, whereas when we do it in the garage, we obviously want to keep everything intact and then put it back, so it'll be a very different pulling experience. Less than graceful. So as you can see, with the whole front end gone and never going back together, it's much less daunting to see these things. Obviously I still have to get underneath. It's not fun being all-wheel drive because it's got the diff here, drive shaft over there. But yeah, now I'm just gonna do intake manifold. I've got most of the exhaust off underneath. This AC bracket is kind of a pain, but as soon as you get this off, you can get that bolt. I usually take that AC bracket off and throw it as far as I can. But yeah, making pretty good progress. So I guess I have to brush up on my LS knowledge. This thing's kind of weird. It's an 02, but it's got an electronic throttle. I thought in all the trucks that they went electronic in 03. It's kind of weird how, like, so the C5 Corvette had electronic throttle from 97 on the entire time, all Gen 3. And then like the van kept cable throttle all the way until 06. So there's some weird crossover. This has dual fuel, which they all did until 04. It's got EVAP, or exhaust gas recirculation, sorry, which is annoying because I think that went away in either 03 or 04, but like on the cars that went away in 01. And then, but sure enough, it is an 0411 PCM. So this is my favorite PCM. This is what whenever I do a swap, I make the car think it's this PCM, and then I run a 2002 Camaro tune on it. But Yeah, so we technically, when we leave, we technically get the intake manifold included, the water pump included. I think I'm gonna mix and match on this and grab an 04 and later rail so it has one fitting, and then potentially an 02, regular 02 and down throttle body to have cable. Thank you. Those are heatsink coils. I like, those are my favorite stock coil packs. Unless they're Gen 4, and then you can run the fancy covers, but.
So are we taking these?
Yes, yeah, they come with the motor.
Okay.
So yeah, here we've got Multec 2 injectors. These are like 25 pounders. These are the ones that are like at 90%, 80% duty cycle stock. And then a dual fuel rail, which is less desirable because a single rail is easier because you can just run the core valve filter, and then deadhead 58 pounds to the rail. So trash. All right, it's probably gonna get hung up on the wiring back there, but let's see what it does. Come on, come on. I don't want these bolts to go into ports. There we go. Okay, there we go. Cool, now I can actually get to the 10 up there. Trying to not drop bolts down the ports. Got EVAP purge. This is included as well. So I was noticing that this AC compressor looks very clean, and also these bolts were like hand tight, and this is not the right size. So I'm pretty sure this has been off, which means it should be easier to get it off now. This is supposed to be a 15, and it's not a 15. All right, finally got the AC compressor off. It's a huge pain with the front drive because there's this extra brace that goes right underneath. So one of the bolts is basically impossible to get to, but that took way too much time. But now I can actually get to this butt bracket and then motor mounts. Manifold up. I think these come as well, but I probably have 10 sets of those, so I don't need any more stock truck manifolds. But now I can literally just go in here with the gun and get this size motor mounts. All right, other manifold is. Oh, maybe I'm not doing that. It's basically kind of wedged in via the drive shaft and the. Come on, please. There we go. All right, what's out of the way? Yeah, so now I can get to these motor mount bolts. Check the back of those pedal housing bolts. This side's off, ready to go, and about ready to start tugging. All right, so motor mounts are out. Bell housing bolts are out. Wasn't that painful. This one, the one in this back corner, is always the Widowmaker. It also has the bracket for the fuel lines to it, so to take that off and then get to that, and it's right up against the back. Luckily on this side it's missing. There is no actual boss there because the head goes all the way back. But yeah, so now just go grab one of my favorite hoists and then start yanking on it.
Okay.
All right, so I got my favorite tool in my favorite place. So the way I usually do this is I never really care about the flex plates. So instead of trying to spin and get converter bolts to the tiny hole in the starter, what I do is just separate the bell housing from the motor and then start lifting and then let it pull and then keep the converter on the back of the flex plate, and then once it's out, take the converter off. So since I'm not using any with the trans or don't really care, it's fine to do it that way. But obviously if you were going to be using any of this stuff, ill advised. See, it's lifting. Oh, see, there we go. We got some separation. Yeah, we've got here coming in here. Yeah, so as you can see, we have separation there. And then if I need to, I can pull the starter off a lot more room. I can pull the rest of the motor out without more room. Jump, see what happens. Although funny enough, technically a guy wanted this hood. I don't know, you guys it's taking a long time.
Yeah.
So we might pull this hood to get it out of our way and keep it for Mr. Hood Guy. You ready?
Jesus, okay.
We good?
Okay, it's slipping out of my fingers. So. Do you want me to stand on it with you?
Yeah, I need your stand.
Okay.
It's stuck.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost off.
Yeah. Pending snap.
Nice.
Oh, shoot, got really heavy all of a sudden. Oh, there's a wire. Cam sensor, cam sensor. There's 10s here and they're so buried in
You think the cable he
Do we trust that cable?
Yeah, I just looked at it.
Okay.
All right, so I don't know how much of that we'll use, but we unfortunately decided to go ahead and take off the converter bolts. They're a huge pain, and I like to try to do them without them. But this one with that front drive really did not want to come forward enough to de-slip, and then technically it works because I'm going to pull that out and take that bell housing anyway. But now I'm just taking off a lot of the stuff that you can't get to, and it's super greasy and dirty. It's hard to see. Oil cooler lines, which every single one of these we keep pulling has an oil cooler, and I would rather them not because I like to have the bypass block off here. But yeah, let's just finish getting the wiring off, and we'll do that. Then we'll grab the converter, get out of the way, and then get the bell housing. So I have the tool for that. All right, so she's liberated. We have the guitar string holding on for dear life. Remarkably unbent flex plate, and it's a 4L60E flex plate instead of the normal 4L80 one I have. I've got a ton of those now. Technically everybody wants the 4L80 ones, but I have a bunch, and then now I finally have a 60 one again. And then here, let me pull that converter out. Okay. Converter's out. Okay, so unfortunately changed the plans. So this is the bell housing that I want for the run stand. Obviously there's a bazillion 4L60E bell housings everywhere. And I have my T50 Torx to get the bolts off, but the bolt, I've never technically taken one of these off. They're insanely tight, and there's no way I can get it off here. Like, the impact's just gonna break the bit. I need definitely some sort of breaker bar and more leverage. I'm super slimy, so we'll leave that for now. Obviously, I'll find, you know, a ton of these just sitting around. And also, there will be a lot more of these trucks sitting exactly how this one is right now, where the trans is still in here, and the bell housing's just ready for the taking, and then the motor's out. So yeah, I think we're I think we'll leave this for now. It's funny too, because you can see on this guy right here. So here's a random 4L60 that's been in my way the entire time. Yeah, so somebody, maybe they had the same idea. Obviously they took the front pump and a couple of things, but yeah, so yeah, it bolted right here, and then just take that off, and then you just have the rest of the trans. But yeah, I saw this, I'm like, oh cool, but no, I can't find the belting anywhere. So yeah, that'll have to wait for next time. All right, that was definitely the least amount of talking I've done in the yard. Yeah, I was not expecting to find something that fast. I guess it's a good break from me laboring on, but yeah, so we'll throw the rest of the day in, get this home, clean this up, and then see what's going on with this motor. And my one last thing, my favorite